One time I was out with my former friend, Nia Jax, when this sweet old homeless lady approached us. The woman looked like she hadn't eaten in weeks. And because I have the heart of gold, I gave her the rest of my burrito bowl. But Nia ripped the food away from this poor old woman and just gobbled it all down right in front of her. I'll never forget the look of horror on that lady's face.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, wake up! Welcome to the after party! Wake up, put your hands up, put them up! It's time that you make your voice heard! Wake up, put your hands up, get them up! Hell yeah!
So I guess if I were to murder one cereal mascot, it would be the Trix Rabbit.
Why?
I feel like he's just kind of a douche, and he says only tricks are for kids. I want tricks. I'm an adult. I'm not a kid anymore. I want tricks right now, and that's bullshit.
You collect Pops.
I am an adult child that collects toys.
Right,
Would you leave me
child.
alone?
I think he'd let you slide if you said I'm an adult child.
I'm going to have to see if that'll work on the Trix Rabbit.
So, we're the Still Real After Party. My name is Zanca.
We haven't been recording that whole time, right?
Yeah, dude, you've confessed to the world
Shit.
that you like cereal. It's not a big deal.
No, I confess that I want to murder a beloved childhood mascot. Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, sure, a lot of people want to murder mascots.
Fuck you, Barney, you're next.
He's in the tantric or whatever that weird article that came out like not too long ago.
I missed that one.
Yeah. So we're the Still Real After Party.
Hello.
I am Zanca. This is my co-host Jake.
Hello, I am Jake.
And there it is. Raw happened. We're going to talk about that.
Unfortunately, Raw happened, yes.
We're going to talk about SmackDown. We're going to do some predictions for the GER.
The grr.
And, and then we'll have a couple guests throughout the way to see what happens with that. And
Stuff and things.
Want to get right into it?
No, but yes, we have to, so.
Raw opened with a tribute to Bruno.
That was great. I mean,
Yeah.
that had to happen, obviously. That's just a thing they do. And he was a legend in the business, so 10-bell salute for you, Bruno.
And Vince McMahon had Roman and Bobby Lashley by his side. A lot of people have been talking about that.
Of course, because those are going to be his boys going forward.
But
well,
Roman
already is.
said that Brock was his boy.
No, that is not the case.
It wasn't the case that night anyway.
It's never the case.
Fucking Raw opened up after that with the man himself, Brock Lesnar, and a Paul Heyman promo.
Hopefully it's Brock's last appearance and Heyman's last promo.
I don't know why you hate Brock. Still don't. He didn't do anything to you.
He killed my family.
No.
You don't know that.
Maybe.
Okay, well, Brock didn't kill my family, but he's still terrible, and I want him off my screen forever.
I will say this. It wasn't that cool, the opening to Raw.
No, it was pretty much the same old thing. And
But it's like, in my head, I'm like, well, they've gone pretty far anytime Roman and Brock have been in the ring to promote a match.
Yeah.
This time, Roman just came out and said, I'm going to do it this time.
Yeah,
And then he walked out of the ring.
realistically, this is a go-home show for this Greatest Royal Rumble.
Let's just call it GER.
The
Because
GER.
I'm going to screw it up.
And it was underwhelming. The whole thing, this whole opening segment was underwhelming. Roman didn't do much. I feel like short and sweet is the way to go with Roman, though.
I agree, but
So-
I was expecting a throw the mic in Brock's face, hit him with a punch, or something. Wasn't expecting him just to back away. Usually the bad guy backs out of the ring, too.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe he just realized that the physicality wasn't working. I don't know.
Well, what's he going to do in a match if physicality doesn't work against Brock?
I think the match is going to be
Is he going to
brutal.
sing him a fucking lullaby, and hopefully that just puts him to sleep and he pins him?
Full-on fucking Jigglypuff action, yeah.
That could work,
That's what I'm
actually.
saying.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know who Jigglypuff is, but you don't know
I
what
don't.
Star Wars
As a matter
is?
of fact, when you said that, I just pictured a fat lady singing me opera, and I would fall asleep.
I mean, it's a little small pink thing that's a Pokemon that sings people lullabies.
So I wasn't far off.
No, not really.
It's not opera. Okay.
But, yeah, so it was fine. Like, whatever. Who cares? There was no build-up. Obviously, there's not a lot of time to build anything up from from Mania to now in this GER.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care.
Maybe it was good if this was before Mania, this interaction.
Sure.
But because of the whole, they handcuffed Roman, they threw fucking tables at each other or whatever, they're like, the whole build-up, I'm like, oh, something's going to pop to get them really into this
Yeah.
match. I just felt a little deflated, I guess. That's all.
It was lackluster, but that's really all we need to say about it because there's not much else to it.
That's correct. So, Rude?
What about him?
It was rude of Bobby Roode
Yeah.
to interrupt our boy Elias.
That was bullshit. Like, here's what I think. I think Elias is getting too over that they want to just ruin him.
See, here's what I think.
All right.
I think it was a slight heel turn by Mr. Bobby Roode to interrupt.
That is a good way to get
Elias.
heat. That is a good way to get heat. If you interrupt Elias, you are at least going to get a little bit of heat, for sure.
Didn't even get the shit on the crowd yet, I don't believe.
It's a bummer. I mean, I love hearing Elias cut promos and run down the crowd in the city that he's in, everything.
It's a simple like heel tactic, but he makes it his own.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
It's good every week.
And I feel like just Vince shuts down anyone who gets over organically anyway. Look at Rusev, example A. So I mean, we'll see. I don't think it's a big deal because he got the win over Bobby Roode, so that's something.
Yeah. It was a decent match.
They
too.
had Bobby Roode lose in his second match, his first singles match on the card or on the roster.
Which I liked for two reasons. One, I liked because I wasn't expecting it. Usually when there's the shakeup, they get a couple wins under their belt. And two, like we've been saying for weeks, I think it's not reinventing the wheel when you say this. Bobby Roode is such a great heel that I hope he takes a couple losses, starts getting aggravated, and does the Shinsuke low blow to some good guy and then goes bad. Yeah.
Elias is like the king of the tweeners.
They could swap those two, but then you won't get the Elias shitting on the town promo every week.
Well, that's why I think he'd stay a tweener in
Right,
that case. Like he'd still run down the crowd, but everyone loves him. So
like the Miz, kind of
exactly like the Miz. But yeah, I mean, I was excited to see, as bad as it sounds, I was excited to see Bobby Roode lose because it meant Elias won. So
and it was a shock.
it was a
for me.
surprise, yeah, which doesn't happen, like you said. Next up, we had the Woken Warriors, who I still love. They're great, versus the new members of Raw, the Ascension.
Yeah, who I actually like. I
Oh,
wish they would
sure.
do more with.
Me too, but they never will.
I know.
If there's a candidate to get released within the next year, they're one of them.
Yeah, they
For
could
sure.
be. I hope
mean-
not, but they could be.
Them and like Slater and Rhino. They'll keep one of those two tag teams on Raw.
Dude, Slater is like the JTG of three-man band, where he's just people are gonna be like, he's still on the roster.
No, he's
You're gonna be
more.
like, yeah.
He's more over than JTG for sure. And he's also on TV a lot more. So I mean, decent comparison just because.
Longevity. That's all I was saying. Longevity without much. But Slater was a tag champ too, so.
Well, yeah, but seeing Slater's fall from grace is just I guess he never really had a grace.
Yeah.
What,
you
Nexus?
main evented a few times with Nexus. Yeah,
that was it. But
dude, Nexus was so cool.
Nexus was cool. I miss them, and a lot of those people are gone now too, which is a bummer. But hey, Slater's still there, and he's still getting a paycheck, and that's what really matters.
This is very true.
But the Ascension obviously lost that match because why wouldn't they?
And I like that. The Woken ones there. They.
I love them.
They had a new finisher. I liked that.
I didn't see it.
It was basically the twist of fate, but with Bray holding his legs, the other guy's legs.
Because Hulu version.
Oh yeah, you Hulu'd it.
I did. Those last two matches actually weren't even on it.
Which ones?
Elias and Bobby, and then this one.
Oh.
I don't know why. There were things on it that didn't need to be. So whatever. But
They weren't barn burner matches.
Yeah, I understand, but who cares? It's the Ascension. No one cares about them anyway.
I care.
I do too, but no one.
So you can't say no one.
No one in the
That's a
business. No one in the
generality.
business cares about them. Fans, I'm sure, do, but they're a comedy act strictly. That's it now. That's all they are.
Well,
Which
they were
sucks.
great with Fandango and Brazango.
I mean, they were-
Brazango.
What?
I was
Breezango?
called- yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's pretty much what they are. Yeah, so that was a thing. And then we had probably my favorite segment of the night, the Sammy and Kevin show.
It was great, man.
These two can do no wrong, in my opinion.
The lawn chair was fucking hilarious.
I also love, and this is when Kurt Angle came out, their guest. I love that Kurt Angle, and this has been happening since he came back. I love that he embraces the "you suck" chants now.
He does it too much, in my opinion.
I agree, but I still think it's fucking hilarious
Right.
because he used to hate it, and that was like a gimmick. He used to hate the "you suck" chants, and now he's like, yes, more, give it to me all day.
I do suck. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the worst. You guys got it. But yeah, I mean, that happened. Pretty much just to set up the main event and get more heel rub on
Yeah,
Sammy
the
and Kevin.
line of the whole thing. I thought Sammy stole it. Usually
Sammy's so
Kevin
good.
Owens is the one I feel like
Sammy's
on a
so
mic,
good.
but his little glasses, the whole thing about you forgot about Jason Jordan thing.
yeah.
Well, Kurt, you forgot about him for many years.
Those two, I mean, as good as they are against each other, having them together is the best way to go, at least at this point.
Because it's gonna lead to them fighting again anyway.
Probably, just because that's
110%.
the natural progression of it. But right now, I'm going to enjoy the ride
By
because
SummerSlam is my prediction.
great. You think by SummerSlam? Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, that's a good ways away.
Well, they're
so
running out of general managers to feud with, so
that is super true. Hey, at least Steph likes them.
they could go to NXT and fight. Was it Regal still? Or
I
don't even-
wanted them to go to NXT, but I like them on Raw. I feel like Raw works better for what they're doing right now. And I'm happy to. I feel like they can shine more on Raw, which sounds weird, but I feel like they're doing good work so far. Obviously, it's only been a couple weeks, but both weeks they've done okay. They've done good things. So
It's been noteworthy both weeks.
yeah, exactly. So next up we had Titus Worldwide versus what I am calling the Show, because that'll probably be their name. That is Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, which is one of my favorite teams right now.
They're money, dude.
They're
Together,
so
they're
good.
money.
They have the look. They have Drew's theme song going into Ziggler's scratch and his theme song, which I love that too.
I hate it when they do that. I
love
want
it.
them to pick a song.
No, I love it.
Every tag team that's thrown together, they do that.
I mean, it just seems natural because of the record scratch.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I was hoping they didn't do it first.
Yeah.
because
They do that with Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy too now. It's
I
like,
love
God
that
damn
too.
it.
I love that too. I don't know
No,
why.
It's basically something like some kid would do on YouTube and be like, I
Maybe-
made a new mixtape.
Maybe I just love the mashups. I don't know, man,
be.
but I enjoyed it. I hope they stick with it. They have a great look together. And they
He
obviously
makes Dolph look like a cruiserweight.
I know.
It's
He's such a
crazy.
giant man.
If Vince McMahon had to create a character on like his video games, he
It's
would
Drew
make it Drew
McIntyre,
McIntyre.
yeah.
It's in shape,
Maybe a
long
little
hair.
bit taller.
He's
Maybe a little
fucking
bit.
tall,
He's
man.
6'5", but maybe like 6'8".
And then just say he's 7 feet.
Yeah,
'Cause-
exactly. But it just seems to me that Ziggler has like he has like a fire lit under him too, which I like to see because he's obviously been kind of dejected the last however long, a while now, and now that he's doing this and he's actually going to be in a prominent thing, it's nice to see him care again. I feel like that they should do something with Randy Orton to make him care, even though he's gonna go the fuck away probably.
yeah.
But obviously they got the win, Ziggler and McIntyre, because you don't really need Titus Worldwide to win that match.
No,
You
and
gotta build
I
up the
hope-
heels.
Yeah, I hope McIntyre and Ziggler just go on a tear here.
I think,
Which I
they,
think
will.
they will,
I
yeah.
think they will. And then Authors of Pain will probably be the ones they feud with, like for real, I'm guessing.
Who would be the baby faces?
Authors of Pain are baby faces technically right now, in my opinion. They're like, okay,
They're not.
they're not heels either. They're not heels.
Okay.
I don't think they're heels. Them leaving Paul Ellering and all that, whatever, that's fine. But I feel like in that scenario...
Well, they're going to need to be baby faces because they can't cut promos without Ellering.
yeah,
so.
kind of. In that scenario, I feel like they're just kind of organically going to be the baby faces in a feud like that. Or they just go against the Woken Warriors after that, and they're clearly not the baby faces. But who knows? I don't.
I see
So,
Ziggler and McIntyre versus the Woken Warriors for a little while.
that'd be
here.
great, too. Imagine the promos, even.
Imagine Breezango versus the fucking Authors of Pain.
No, I want Breezango versus the Woken Warriors, because those promos would
Well,
be
yeah,
the best.
promos would be the best, but match quality, Breezango and Tyler. I
I
can't
think
even say
they're
their
pretty
names
good
anymore.
wrestlers. I mean,
They are. They're amazing, and the Authors of Pain are used to working because they came up through NXT with smaller guys like those two guys
and
who
they've
can
probably
go in
worked
the
with,
maybe.
probably worked with Breeze before. I don't remember,
I
but
don't know either, but maybe. Yeah.
but I mean, Breeze was there for 18,000 years, so he probably definitely worked the Authors of Pain. Probably, definitely, yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely, probably.
Definitely, probably, maybe. Then we got a great promo from the show. After that, we talked about that a little bit. Excited to see where that goes.
It was my third favorite promo from Raw.
From Raw.
Yeah, it really was. I thought
right.
McIntyre cut a great promo. I thought Ziggler, did his thing too. So,
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
and I do like how they just ripped off the bar. It's like we're not stealing the show. We
are
are
the
the
show.
show.
Yeah, so that's probably what their name will be if we have any indication from the bar.
The bar. Yeah.
Next up, we had a backstage segment with Jinder Mahal.
My second favorite promo of the night.
Oh, this was half of it was good.
Yeah, Mahal's half.
Half of
100%.
Mahal's, yeah.
Oh, it's Nicholas.
Yeah, that was fucking great. It was between Mahal and Gable, new addition Chad Gable. He was talking to Kurt, whatever. They talked about Jason Jordan, said he's not going to be with him anymore, which is good. No one wants that, probably.
I wanted it. I was kind of surprised they didn't do it.
Yeah, I guess I wanted
Yeah.
it too. So we wanted it. No one else probably wants it. So Mahal comes up and starts getting in Chad Gable's face.
He calls him Nicholas.
He said, "You really grew up, Nicholas," and I was like, "That is fucking funny."
And then it was a little too soon.
And then he made a really, really poorly taste Vern Troyer joke.
I loved it.
Oh, you would. You're a sick fuck. You're a sick fuck.
Why is it in poor taste? He's dead. He can't be offended.
I'm offended as a fan.
As a middle class white woman, I'm offended for this person.
I would like to speak to your manager, Mr. Zanca.
It was a little too soon.
It was bad. But the promo as a whole, the promo as a whole was good. I
thought it was hilarious.
It was pretty good. That set up a match between the two, which Chad Gable shockingly won.
Yep.
I was excited to see that as well.
It was weird because I thought he was going to win because I
Really?
think Mahal's going to win later on in the week. So usually they do that. Yeah.
I do too.
You know what I'm saying? Usually they bring him down to bring someone else
Yeah,
up.
it makes sense. Next up, we had the tag match that was set up during the Sammy and Kevin show. We had Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman, the most insane team of humans ever, versus Cammy.
Yep.
And that was a pretty fun match. I mean, those four can go.
Mm-hmm.
How you liking Lashley so far? How do you think the experiment's going?
It's all right, yeah. I mean...
Better than you thought so far?
It's exactly what I thought.
Okay, fair enough.
He comes in, hits his suplexes, and fucking leaves.
Yeah, he's better than Brock, though.
He's not better than Braun, because Braun's the one that carried the match and won.
But here's the thing.
2 weeks in a row, they haven't let Lashley pin the guy, and he's a new addition.
No one on the roster is better than Braun, though.
This is true.
So we can't really make that comparison.
But the way you're saying, oh, he's better than Brock, Brock leaves an impression. Bobby Lashley has not left an impression on me since he's come out.
Who is Brock? I don't know what.
Oh, he's the guy that holds the Universal title for over a year.
The licorice-looking belt that's never on Raw except for last night?
Yes.
Or whatever, this week?
Makes it special.
Monday? What day is it? Wednesday?
It special.
Monday. No, it's not special at all.
Is the U.S. title special? No, you see it every week.
I'd rather the U.S. title every week than I want it back. Give me the Universal title back. Me personally, I'll beat Brock.
He's a great heel, man. You hate him.
I'll beat Brock for it. Is he a heel? He was getting boozed though this week, so that was interesting because he almost never does.
Yeah.
Because people are probably fucking bored like I am.
No, it's when they go to the kiddie crowds. You know what I'm talking about. Different states.
Unbelievable. I liked the guys in the crowd that were trying to chant Roman Reigns.
The
there
four
were like
of them?
three of them.
Dude, you could tell that WWE, those are their plants.
Oh, yeah.
It was four middle-aged dudes like together chanting it, no one around them.
It was great. I loved it. But, I mean, whatever. Fuck Brock. I hate him. Then we had the best wrestler on Raw. No way, Jose.
Yeah.
He came out with his Adam Rose Rosebuds, and then Baron Corbin came out and cut a really Baron Corbin promo.
Yeah, I got nothing to say because I'm huge on Baron Corbin, and this kind of let me down.
I don't know why, but I enjoyed it because it's such a Baron Corbin promo.
Yeah.
He just said he talked really slow and said some things.
Dub? No Way Jose has left more of an impression in 2 weeks than Bobby Lashley has.
Maybe.
He has. The conga line's over.
For now. You remember Adam Rose. We
was
talked
over.
For like a second. Yeah. Yes, it was over for like a second. I think it's going to be bad.
Well, you never know, man. I mean, he could get... The Miz Taraj is looking for employment.
Yeah, they're asking everyone for employment. You're correct. That was if I had to pick... I mean, Sammy and Kevin, they were great. But that was probably my second favorite part of the night. Yeah. Just the Miz Taraj going to Seth and going to Finn with their respective T-shirts. It was fantastic.
And hand signals.
I know, yeah. I want them to do that for weeks, and I'll be a happy man because they won't be doing nothing, which is what I expect them to do, and they'll be entertaining, which is the point.
They did get a tweet from a very special couple people, I think, that could really be awesome if you ask me.
Was it the Bullet Club?
No, it was the Woken Warriors.
Oh, even better.
Yes. Yeah. I think it was Matt said, "No more obsolete mules for you guys. Come join us."
I would love to see that, but I mean, wouldn't that just be like the Wyatt family for real?
Yeah.
Because they're family?
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, no, trust me. I would love to see it. That'd
Can you
be great.
imagine them as zombies? That would be fucking great.
It's not. I feel like it's such a good idea that it won't happen.
I feel like the only reason why I want that to happen is because I want to see what kind of attire the two of them would come out with. Because like their Miz Taraj attire has been like the highlight of my night.
Well, yeah, but it also kind of looks like Hardy's old stuff, so maybe they wouldn't change it. Maybe they'd just change colors or something.
True.
Yeah,
you never
I mean,
know.
It's really the same thing. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I like that. I thought it was pretty. It was well done. I liked my favorite part was Finn coming back and knocking their hands down a little bit. Like it was just a subtle gesture.
Yeah, it was the small stuff with those segments, but it was just really good. Next up, we had probably one of our favorite segments of the night. We had a moment of Bliss.
Yeah, this I was howling at.
I loved it. Which it's for a lot of people, I feel like it's not going to work. But for us, being who we are, it was fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah, because I mean we're not offended easily, so it's like I mean certain people are gonna cry about it's bullying, it's bullying. It's the point.
Yeah, but I love that
she's funny.
I love that she's trying to pin it on Nia now that she's the bully,
saying.
but she's Bliss is still obviously the bully.
So I had McIntyre was my third favorite, Mahal
Okay,
was
fair.
my second favorite. This was my favorite kind of promo of the night.
Fair enough. Yeah.
The whole I gave food to this, homeless lady, and then Nia grabbed all the fries and just like, dude, it was fucking perfect.
It was, yeah. Like I said, a lot of people are not going to feel the same way we do, but in our eyes, that was perfect.
It's
You're right.
entertainment.
I know.
They're
and Bliss
actors.
can be in segments like that. She's proven that because she can do literally no wrong.
Oh yeah.
I will watch Bliss do anything.
Dude,
So
they had the sad music in the background, the score. It was just perfectly done.
yeah, it was very well done, and I hope it continues.
I do too, man. I think
At least until
hilarious.
Backlash, when she probably loses.
Yeah.
But I want it to continue for the next couple weeks up to that.
And for the people who find it offensive, that's perfect because it's just gaining her more heat.
Yep,
You know what I'm
absolutely,
saying?
absolutely. So that was fun. And then after this was the Miz Taraj versus Balor and Rollins, which I don't think was ever really set up. It just kind of happened naturally with them going to them and being like, "Nah, we don't want to be your leader right now."
I wish I could do that when I was younger, looking for jobs all the time. If I could just go get all the employees,
Show up with
all
their
the employment
t-shirt.
people that didn't hire me, I could just get them in a match and try to fight them. That'd be awesome. Me versus the Colonel. Fucking KFC.
No, not a big KFC guy.
No, they actually hired me. I worked
Oh,
there
so
for a
so you
little
wouldn't
while.
want to fight the Colonel.
Yeah. Did
You wouldn't want to fight Dolph Ziggler
Yeah.
or Ric Flair.
Oh yeah, Reba McIntyre. I'd
Oh my God,
punch that
no.
old bitch in the mug.
That's the worst Colonel. Give me Norm Macdonald all day. No Reba.
So that interview we did, I don't know where it's gonna be placed in this, but he reminded me so much of Norm Macdonald, like his cadence of his words. I just didn't want to say anything because I love Norm Macdonald. But some people would find that offensive. Be
No,
like,
Norm
You think I
Macdonald-
sound like Norm Macdonald?
Norm Macdonald is great. He's
Yeah.
one of the best comedians because of his delivery. Like
So
his
we'll throw the
delivery.
interview in later. That's something you have to look forward
Yes,
to.
that's a thing we did.
Just think Norm Macdonald, but jacked.
Yeah, sure, pretty much. So more from Raw. We had the main event now, which is a whole bunch of women that aren't allowed to go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it was a makeup. definitely.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. But
For all the talent, though, I wasn't that.
it was like okay.
Yeah,
it was
wasn't
fine.
that great for me.
It was Riot Squad, Bliss, and Mickey James.
And Nia jumping off the apron stuck out to me because it was
I have something to talk about there. It was them versus Nia Jax, Ember Moon, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Natalia.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Nia jumping off the apron. Bliss was nowhere close
Yeah.
to that. I don't know if it didn't look like she moved or anything, but she was like in the middle of nowhere. And then somehow she gets knocked down with everybody else.
She had some enhancement surgery that she's trying to protect, I believe.
Who, Bliss?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, she's kind of been showing off the bits on Instagram, so. And I've been looking, so it's a definite possibility.
I'd be
But-
like Nia Jackson and them French fries.
Jesus Christ. But so the storyline here really is that Natalia got a chop block from I think Sarah Logan and was outside of the ring most of the time. And after everyone got knocked out by Nia, Mickey was the only one left standing. She goes and attacks Natalia, and then what happens?
You want me to say it?
I mean, yeah, that was the goal there.
Oh. First, let me say this.
This is a two-person podcast.
I don't buy Natalia as a babyface.
I don't buy Natalia as an anything.
And Mickey James, I buy way more as a babyface. So when she was beating the fuck out of her, I was like, yeah, this seems right. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah.
I'm not a huge Natalia fan. I find her incredibly cringeworthy. But
she's a heel. She comes off great as a heel. Like
Yeah.
she's very
right. She's a
heelish.
better heel than she is a face. Yeah,
Right.
but I just don't like her in general. She annoys me.
You don't like the weirdest people. Like
I
people that
guess.
have wrestling ability
Well,
or
I
sports
like-
entertainment ability, you don't like.
Here's okay. Brock doesn't have either of those things.
He's a
No,
what?
No, stop.
You're the only person, and you've done nothing in the wrestling business to say something like that.
You don't know. I could be a backstage guy. You have no idea.
I do know.
I'm
'cause
not.
I know some of them guys.
I'm
and
super
you're not
that.
there.
But Natalia, fine wrestler. Yeah, that's same with Sasha. Like I don't like her either. But they just
know.
annoy me. I like their wrestling.
Characters.
Yes, I like the wrestling.
Okay.
I don't like them as characters in the wrestling business. Okay.
So keep defending yourself.
I don't want to. I like it. You
Who came out?
You know how I feel about Sasha, but yeah. Okay, so Ronda Rousey comes out to make the save, and she basically just attacks Mickie James after, or no, she tries to save Natalya, and then Mickie James makes the mistake of attacking Ronda. I can't words right now.
Having trouble with words, are you?
Dude, story of my life.
Yeah, there was some smorgasbord stuff going on, just some randoms. Ronda comes out, hits that sweet armbar, breaks Mickey's life, and the bell rings, which confused me.
Well, because DQ.
Yeah, I know, but it was like
Weird.
They waited for her to tap.
I know. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird that the heels won via DQ.
Yeah.
That's bizarre. Because usually it's the opposite. The faces win via DQ, but it is what it is.
It was what it was. Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine. Yeah, exactly. That was it. That's all I can say about it.
I think I just wanted more storytelling throughout the match, I think. I think it was just rushed. There was a lot of talent in that ring.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I hope it leads to something, but
Those kind of matches, though, it's not really that fair to the talent as well.
I would like to see
a lot of people.
I would like to see a quick little feud between Ronda and Mickie. That'd be cool for everyone involved, I'd say. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
And then Natalya Ronda would be money, too, after.
That'll happen. That's going to happen. So at some point, one of them's going to turn on each other. It'll probably be Natalya because Ronda wants to stay a babyface, I'm sure. But seeing a heel Ronda would be real swell.
What do you say we hit SmackDown Live in the nuts now?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's talk about SmackDown Live.
Opens up with my favorite entertainer, probably.
Oh,
Miz TV.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy is so over.
The most must-see television.
Over.
Miz?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
for sure.
crazy. And he still gets a little heel heat when he needs it. He gets it.
He gets the heat and then runs down the crowd. It's very Elias-esque. Obviously, Elias came after the Miz, but but it's very Elias-esque in the case that Miz can get a crowd and then lose them and then get them, and it's just a trade-off, you know?
I saw an interview with Miz a while back where he was like, all I really want is the respect of the fans. I don't want them to think that I'm the greatest of all time. I'm this and that. He goes, where I came from and coming through this business and all the shit I had to deal with at the beginning, I just want respect. I feel like right now in his career, this is the moment, like throughout, since basically his, last 3 IC title runs, the fans have showed him nothing but respect. I feel like he's got to be in a very happy place because that's all he said he really wanted.
And he's a great wrestler.
Right.
He's a great personality, and he has absolutely earned the respect of almost every wrestling
basically
fan.
Grown in WWE. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like as a performer. Not I'm saying he wasn't born in WWE.
Well,
but as a professional wrestler, he's grown up throughout his WWE phase.
Well, yeah, because he went from reality star to arguably the greatest intercontinental champion of all time. It's a no-brainer. It's crazy.
I'm still partial to Santino, man.
Okay, I know you're a big Santino guy, but
I'm a honkameter guy. Like if Miz brought back the honkameter, I'd be down, dude.
And then his career would be down as well. So that would be unfortunate. So his guest on Miz TV was supposed to be Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
It was not Daniel Bryan. After a long pause,
Yeah.
It was Big Cass.
Correct.
He came out and cut a promo basically saying that Diddle Bryan, yeah. Daniel Bryan, Diddle Bryan, yeah.
What's on your mind, dude?
Yeah,
You see Big Cash get a little...
We were talking about Alexa Bliss's bits earlier.
No, we
so
weren't. Shh.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Trying to get me too'd up in this bitch.
Hey, I didn't do anything. So Daniel Bryan doesn't come out. Big Cass comes out. He cuts a promo saying that Daniel Bryan reminds him of an old version of Big Cass. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed the promo a lot. I feel like it's the best promo he's cut in his career, probably.
Well, yeah, I'll give him that.
Well,
sure.
because it's not hard, I know, but I thought it was effective. I thought he delivered it well, and he held himself during it, so...
It was very vanilla. His deer in headlights eyeballs really aggravate me.
He was kind of silly looking,
His
yeah.
jacket coat wasn't long enough for his arms.
Well,
I was just looking at all these things like, he's not ready yet. Like, they're just throwing him out there.
But we're getting there. Like, if it gets better...
He said... I made myself get bigger.
Yeah.
What is that? You can't teach that. What happened to that whole thing?
You can't teach that.
Yeah, that was his thing.
I love how the crowd actually said that after he said I'm 7 feet tall. I was like, aha.
Was it human growth hormones? What was
also, R.I.P. Enzo's wrestling career.
Yeah.
That happened on
Threw the
Instagram.
sneaks up, man.
That's definitely what that was. He tagged WWE. Like, there's no reason for him not to retire, I guess. He's probably going to be a rapper.
Yeah.
So, that's it. Yeah, Big Cass's promo. I liked it. You didn't.
It was fine. I did not.
It was good. Like, it was really good for a Big Cass promo.
It was good for an independent wrestler's promo.
All right, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it
Fair
wasn't like, I mean, but he was in there with the Miz, so.
Well, that's hard.
That's why he looked like shit.
And the Miz can carry anyone to a good promo anyway. Even though the Miz didn't talk. So
he threw in a couple things
Yeah,
here and
couple.
there, and once you did that, I was like, yeah, fucking get him.
yeah, so that was
It's an
entertaining.
easy way to get Big Cass heat by putting him in a thing with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I like that he's actually getting some sort of reaction. Which,
But like
is
I
good.
was saying to you earlier, I
Yeah.
feel like if Drew McIntyre and Big Cass were to swap roles but stay in the current storylines, Drew McIntyre, I feel, is ready to be a main eventer, whereas Big Cass, I feel, could benefit more from having a superstar like Dolph Ziggler by his side.
Don't disagree, but you're getting what we are given,
Yeah.
and we gotta roll with it and try to enjoy it.
The good thing, too, is Daniel Bryan will hopefully carry Big Cass to a good match.
I think he will.
Yeah.
I think it'll end up being a pretty decent match. Big Cass obviously still has a lot of learning to do in the ring, but if it keeps getting better, I can see him being important in the future. So,
You seen Men in Black, right?
yeah,
You know when they shoot that one dude's head and it shrinks and then it pops back?
vaguely, yes.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
I
He's
haven't
like, you know how much that
Dude,
stings?
I haven't seen Men in Black for it's been a long ass time.
Well, like halfway through his head growing back, it looks like that's Big Cass's head.
Yeah, he's got kind of a tiny. Well, he was
It's
a little
tiny
man
compared to the rest of
He
his
was
body.
a little man, and then he grew,
Yeah.
but his head didn't.
I
So,
see.
so that's that. Cut to backstage, and Daniel Bryan's dead on the floor.
Yeah, he fell asleep during that.
That's pretty
Big
much
Cass
it.
promo.
Yeah,
that
he was
enjoyed.
like, I don't want to listen to this. I'm just gonna fake an injury.
Dude, the best part was Asuka and Becky Lynch. I don't think they knew that the sound was on because they show up and they're like, oh, ah, yeah. And then one guy in the background goes, get some help.
Becky Lynch is so good.
Yeah.
No, everything she does
Smoke
is
show,
so
too.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's incredibly attractive, but everything she does is just so good lately. And well, I feel like she's been doing this a while, but now that they're giving her, I mean, not really a spotlight, but something to do. I love seeing Becky Lynch on TV every week. It's great.
Oh, yeah. She's probably my favorite that doesn't get the recognition I feel she deserves.
Now let's talk about my favorites, the Iconics.
the Iconics.
Yes,
Gotta be honest, man. I'm a fan of theirs. Not a fan this week.
it was not as good,
Right. It was too long.
It was.
They gotta cut it in half and I would be on board.
and they didn't give him an entrance, which I have a problem with.
Yeah.
I like their entrance; it's really good. And when they had no one to talk to in the ring. I think that was the problem.
Yeah.
They started in the ring. I still enjoyed it, but it didn't give the same vibe as it did the last couple of weeks.
That's where I'm at with it, yeah.
But I think that's not going to be the same throughout.
They're better at rebuttals, I
Yeah,
feel. Like, you
they
know what I
need
mean?
other people to
Right,
work
right,
with
right.
because they are. I mean, making fun of Becky Lynch was funny, like whatever. They can't keep doing that. I think it's funny still, but if they keep doing the Charlotte impression and the Becky impression, or if they do an Asuka impression next week or whatever, they cannot keep doing that. In my opinion, they need more.
I think they would have been saved a lot earlier if the babyface's music hit first or earlier. I mean, like they just
something.
It was just it felt like it dragged, and
It did.
last week's didn't feel like it dragged. You know what I'm saying?
And that's not their fault.
Right.
That is purely booking. And
I didn't feel like the moment was too big for him type deal. It
Right.
just felt like it dragged on. That's all.
so they were in a match against Asuka and Becky, who were coming out earlier. I feel like you said, they should have come out first, Asuka and Becky, I think. Because, like I said, they benefit more, the Iconics benefit more having people in the ring already to bounce off of, So they come out, and that's fine. They have a match. The Iconics win that match. They have a win over Asuka, even though she didn't get pinned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think once she got that loss taken
Yep.
off, WWE is just gonna.
They're
she's
just
the
gonna
new Kurt
hand her
Hawkins.
losses. Oh my god, no. But it's nice to see the Iconics actually, as a tag team, win.
Well, they needed it. They took a loss last week, right? In Charlotte.
One of them did, yeah. So it was nice to see them bounce back and, as a duo, get the W over a huge talent there. So
Nice heel win, definitely.
yeah,
Feet
absolutely.
on the
And that's
ropes.
another thing. I feel like if they're not gonna work, it's gonna be the crowd's fault too, because or writing. It's gonna be one of the two, because the crowd didn't seem into it. They didn't seem into the match at all, and they love Becky and Asuka. So I don't know. It's interesting.
It is funny though, because a lot of the people, like, we love NXT. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But
Right.
if you even go further, I love like Ring of Honor. I
Right.
love all these things down. If they call up somebody from Ring of Honor, let's say Adam Cole never had an NXT run. If he just popped on Raw,
People wouldn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Some people wouldn't.
but we'd pop. You know what
Exactly,
I mean? So that's
that'd be
what it is.
amazing.
I feel like not a lot of people have been keeping up with NXT, have seen their thing, because they haven't been on. They've been on how many takeovers? One.
Yeah, they haven't been around.
That's what
the
I'm
last
saying,
couple
too,
months
yeah.
for a while. Like I don't know why, but
So I feel like they're still getting their feet wet with the fans. You know
I
what I'm
just
saying?
hope it gets better, because if it stays the way it is, it's not going to work. It's like Ty Dillinger.
It's
He was
SmackDown
hot
too,
at
though.
first, and now it obviously he's gone away. But yeah, I'm
There's
excited
less,
to see.
There's less female talent on SmackDown too, so they'll
Right.
have an opportunity throughout the whole year to shine.
And
You know what I'm saying?
the rumor going around is that there's going to be a women's tag title, and I believe that 100%. I believe that is coming, and it's going to be cross-brand, and it'll be perfect for them. They should be the first champions, if not the first, definitely the second.
You know it's gonna be Sasha Charlotte, right? Because
Sasha and Charlotte, no,
they're the first of everything.
Yeah, but it would
Come
have to
on.
be. It would have to be. Well, no, because then one would have to move. Even though it's cross-branded, I wouldn't want the belts cross-branded. You know, or like on separate brands. You know what I mean?
No, cross-branded.
Cross-branded, as in they can fight between brands, but I don't want one belt on one brand and one belt on the other.
Well, no, the tag team belts would be on both brands if one star's on one show, the other star's on the other.
I don't want
It
that.
was a
though.
joke anyway. You're analyzing
It's
it all
horrible.
wrong.
I don't want
They're the
Sa-
first in everything.
I don't
It
want-
was a joke.
I don't want Sasha to have anything.
No, obviously the Iconics are the only tag team in the female division right now.
I do like that they're kind of trying to make tag teams happen, though. I mean, not organically like those two, but they're...
Dude, they've been making female tag teams happen for as long as they've had females. It's always been tag match.
Not late.
6-woman
I know,
tag
but,
match,
like-
5-woman tag match.
Absolution is another organic one. Like, that's one that could compete with the Iconics after the fact.
Yeah.
Becky could pair up with someone like Naomi or something. Neither of them are really going to be doing anything. Well, Naomi's in her thing, but... Yeah, and then at some point, this is what I think. At some point, Charlotte is going to get moved over to Raw. I don't know how, but her next feud naturally has to be, after Carmella, has to be Ronda, right?
No,
No?
they're going to save that for
Okay.
Mania.
Well, I
They
know,
have
but
to. That's why they
give
kept
it a
them
build,
apart
you
now.
know? Maybe too long.
I don't
But
think you understand. WWE doesn't build shit. You remember our whole complaint for WrestleMania this
you're
year?
right. You're right.
Roman and Brock, they just, what was their feud? 2 months long,
They
maybe?
built the best.
2 months build, but I'm saying it was built great.
And it was the worst match.
but it wasn't needed. You know what
Maybe
I'm
not the
saying?
worst, but it was bad. So that happened. Iconics won. Happy.
Yeah.
Happy me. Then we had Jimmy Uso versus Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
That was a thing. The match happened, and then Naomi came out to make the distraction. She shook her ass everywhere, which would distract many people. And that was, I think, Jimmy got the win.
Yeah, is it weird that like I randomly get boners now whenever I see a black light somewhere? Like, I don't know
Yes,
what's
that is
happening to
weird.
me.
Yeah,
Okay, just checking. But
that is a little strange.
she's definitely gonna get a sledgehammer soon, right?
Oh yeah, they're gonna
She's
have
taking
to.
a bump of some
They're
sort.
gonna have to go a little intergender wrestling here and do something.
It's gonna be the old Miss Elizabeth spot where she's on the apron or something, and then Jimmy gets knocked into her, and she busts her ankle. He sees her, and then
It's gonna be something. Yeah, it would
too
just
bad
make
they
sense.
don't allow women at the fucking GER coming up this Friday, because that'd be the perfect way for the Bludge Brothers to retain their belts.
Yeah, but I feel like this is gonna happen. This is gonna continue after, I believe. So, I think it'll happen. Something with Naomi will happen because heat,
Yeah.
pure heat for Bludgeon Brothers, if they attack a female, just because that's how that works.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was fine. There wasn't much to it.
That'll be the Triple H Steph spot, though.
Oh,
where
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
Jimmy, or the Bludgeon Brother will duck, and Jimmy Uso will super kick her in the face, and she'll hit the ground.
Probably
Yeah.
something like that, yeah. So next up, we had the Women's Championship contract signing between Charlotte and Carmella.
So there's two things.
Notice how I did the right thing there. I introduced the challenger first.
Yeah, you did. Two things in life I've always noticed. One thing, political conversations never end well on Facebook.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And two, contract signings never end well in
No,
WWE.
no. Rarely. Very rare. And that works in both cases.
This got annoying, too, to me.
Okay,
It's
but
too
it was
fucking
not as
long.
bad as last week. Not even
No.
close.
You know what annoyed me the most wasn't even Charlotte or Carmella.
Right.
But, yeah, like her, be respectful.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's happening
I feel like
here?
having like a mediator at a contract signing or whatever, but just
She was
have them
obviously,
shut the fuck up.
She was
Like,
obviously fed that line, so I don't know what they were going for.
I like Renee. She's fine. She shouldn't have talked.
Right.
Like, at all. Maybe introduce them. That's it. Do what she did. That was it. That's where it should have ended.
I like showing Carmella showing her pack. I wish she would have done it like 4 or 5 more times, and then like halfway through like the 5th time, like Charlotte had something else spliced together. Like you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
it
Like that's
would've
where I
been-
thought they were going.
I like that too. The heat that it generated was great.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that they were only gonna do one and then have it cut off in the second one because it would. I know you complained about it being too long, but imagine if that had run 5 times, you would have complained a lot more, and so would I. But I think it was well done. It could, like you said, it could have been a little shorter, and I mean, just after that, there was nothing much to it. they signed the contract, and Charlotte flipped the table. That's
she
basically
and
it.
she missed throwing Carmella's head into it, so Carmella just headbutted the table like 3 seconds later.
Yeah, but I will give it to Carmella. She dropped the whole Valley Girl thing she was doing last week.
Yeah.
It was significantly better, and she actually generates heat, like actual heat. So I'm excited to see. I don't think she's gonna win, but
She's definitely winning.
You think so?
Oh, dude, I can't.
I hope so. I hope so. I want her to be champion for a good while, so she has time to build her personality and time to just build this title run. You know,
there's way more babyface females over there.
That's a fair point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they need a heel champ.
So next up we had Orton. Oh no, sorry, we had Jeff Hardy versus Shelton Benjamin.
I like how Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton are fighting over who can fight Shelton Benjamin. These past few weeks.
Yeah,
I don't. What the fuck?
I don't know what Shelton does. Obviously, he's great in the ring, but apparently everyone's clamoring for a chance at Shelton Benjamin. So what happens is the same thing that happened last week on the Shake-Up. Jeff Hardy comes out and then stops in the center, like the middle of the ramp, and his music goes away. He's confused, even though he knows what's happening. Randy's music hits, and he comes out. So we get Randy and Shelton Benjamin in 2018.
Yeah. I thought the match was pretty good. I liked how, what's his name? What's the little dude's name from Jinder Squad?
Oh, Sunil Singh?
Yeah.
I think that's that one.
I like how he comes out in a mask, and everybody knew who he was even before they
100%,
pulled the mask off.
100%. He ate an RKO, but then Shelton was able to get the distraction and get the win.
Yeah, and they missed the ending there. He totally botched the finish.
Oh, for sure. But, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's nice to see Orton not win.
Yeah, I thought it was nice to see Shelton win is the way I would
That
phrase
too.
that, because I did not see that coming. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, if they did anything right on either show, it was give us surprises. And granted, they're not with any, who cares? Like, they're not really important or anything, but they gave us at least 3 surprise victories that we didn't expect. So I hope they keep doing that.
Yeah, that's a good way to book it.
Then we had a backstage segment between New Day and the Bar, and that was fine. I mean, it's typical New Day, typical Bar stuff. They basically said that they smelled and they were eating pancakes. Whatever, who cares? Yeah. And then they made fun of their little hand thing. Then we had a backstage with AJ and the club finally back together again, and I'm pumped because this is what I wanted when the club got sent over there.
Yeah, and they went right to it.
It just makes sense.
It
just
really
makes
does.
sense. I mean, it's an organic team. Have them help AJ with this whole Shinsuke thing.
I think what it really does too is it helps elevate them back into like the main event feel, where like they're a tag team that can be credible again.
Yes,
because Carl Anderson, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated superstars on either roster.
Yeah, absolutely.
His New Japan run as a singles guy was phenomenal. So I want that guy to get more shine. That's all.
For sure. So after this was the main event. I don't think there was a small backstage segment with Daniel Bryan setting up a match with him and Cass at Backlash. That was pretty much it between there.
And the crowd went mild. Yeah. It's bad. I mean, I like Cass. We already went over that. But when Daniel Bryan's in a feud and people aren't into it, that's a problem. You know what my thing is with Cass? I don't care either way.
Okay, fair enough.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, they make me care about him, make me hate him, or make me like him. Right now, I'm just like, just get this feud over with because I want to see what Daniel Bryan does next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which hopefully is The Miz.
And that's not a shot at Cass. It's just I don't care right now.
Right, no, totally understandable. And a lot of people don't.
He was right when he said no one cared about him, that he was gone.
It is unfortunately true. So this led to the main event. It's the Club versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev Day. I love it. I mean, good match. All the personalities shined where they needed to shine, and it ended with a Kinshasa to, I believe, Luke Gallows. I think. Do I have it written down?
I think Carl took it for AJ at one point.
Yeah, that was after.
Right.
Yeah, I think Luke Gallows took the one for the win.
Right.
The Kinshasa for the win. And then we get another low blow from Shinsuke Nakamura to AJ Styles.
Dude, he loves hitting him in the pennies, man.
He is continuing to make sure AJ Styles no longer has any rib tattoos, for sure.
At this point, though, it's on AJ.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're leaving him out there. No cup, no nothing? Come on.
After the win, AJ attacked Shinsuke, right? So why, at that point, did AJ not pull the same tactic?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
And then he gets hit in the beans, and he just sits there.
He just got,
It's so good.
Straight in the beans again, and oh man, it's funny again, by the way.
It is.
I know I was talking last week, like if they keep doing it, it won't be funny. No, it's funny again. But yeah, so he set up the Kinshasa for AJ, and then Carl Anderson took it. He took a bullet, as Corey Graves said, for AJ, which was not a play on words. He definitely meant that.
Dude,
I'm surprised he's still
straight up
around,
said
by the
it,
way.
like-
I know, I'm surprised he's still around. When I heard Booker T was coming back to Raw commentary, I was like, oh no, they kicked off Corey.
Oh, yeah,
but they
no,
didn't. Luckily, Coach is just away for whatever. Who cares?
I loved how the beginning of that, by the way, just to show back to the
Oh, yeah.
Booker T and Corey
Yeah.
Graves. He's like, we're not in the streets, Book.
Oh, yeah. Playing up the heat between them from whenever ago. But yeah, that was fun. So yeah, Shinsuke took out Carl Anderson for a second time in front of AJ's eyes, and that was pretty much that.
That was the end of SmackDown.
Yeah.
Let's get into some predictions.
This is a long one.
This is
going to be a long one. Let's get into the GUR predictions.
Let's do it to it.
All right, we'll start with the big, giant, huge match. The Royal Rumble.
You want to start there?
We're starting there, yeah. Because I think that you think that'll start the show? I think it will.
No.
Yeah, I do.
It's going to end the show.
It's not going to end the show. No way.
It's going to end the show.
No, it's going to be Roman champion.
Great Khali is winning, and
Oh
it's
my
going
God.
to end the fucking
That's
show.
not, that's not really your pick, is it?
No.
Okay, good.
But it's in there.
Okay, of course. He might be in the Final Four because India
Oh, yeah, I do have
or
that deal.
Saudi Arabia. Duh.
All right, you want to start with the biggest fucking thing of the night. Let's do it.
All right, yeah, I do.
Let's start with this. First two in.
First two in, who cares? It's not going to matter.
One of them's a surprise. It's got to be.
Jericho will be the
Good call.
surprise.
Good call. That was one of mine. Yeah.
And Sin Cara.
Sin Cara?
I don't know. Like,
Let's write this down. I went Jericho.
you can
Finn.
write that down. I don't need that.
That's the fun stuff.
I know. I have the important stuff. The actual
wins?
predictions. Yeah.
No one cares.
I care.
The ending's not. It's Braun.
It's not. No, it's not Braun. No, it's not Braun.
It's not D. Bry.
Yes.
Everybody's picking D. Bry.
Daniel Bryan. For
Why
sure.
is he gonna win and then fight Big Cass next week?
Motivation, you know?
That's
Like
not-
he's like, I won the greatest Royal Rumble. Now I'm gonna fight Big Cass and win that too.
Okay, if you say
Is your
so.
pick Braun?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that
Fucking
too.
Braun, dude.
I mean, realistically, if you look at it, there are so many people that could and should win. Jericho, I guess, if you look at it that way, could and should win.
No.
Well, okay, sure. As a star power factor. Braun, Elias.
Who's your final four?
My final four. Here's what's going to happen. I have Daniel Bryan winning. It's going to be Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho.
Sammy?
Yep.
KO, Jericho.
Yep. They're gonna play up that storyline a little more, have
That's
a
a
little
good
tension.
spot.
And I don't know if Shane's gonna be in it anymore because they didn't mention him on Raw when they were mentioning everybody else. So I'm not gonna put him there.
Do you think Jericho is gonna last?
Yes.
Full 50 people?
Yeah, he's gonna break another record.
50 people.
Because didn't he have the record
Holy
before for the
shit.
most time in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Does this count? Is this like canon?
It's got to, man.
I mean, maybe. If
hope
so,
so.
I think he will break that record again.
I mean, Kane's gonna be there, so he'll up his total eliminations.
Yep. Oh my God, Kane is gonna get so many eliminations, or he'll just be out immediately and no one will know. All right, so let's go from the greatest to probably the least important. And this isn't because I think it's the least important; it's because everybody else does. Cruiserweight Championship: Cedric Alexander versus fucking Kalisto. I'm so mad
Why?
because Kalisto eliminated Drew Gulak. Like, why?
Oh, yeah.
Why in the fuck do you have Kalisto in another Cruiserweight Championship match? Why?
I don't know, man.
I don't either, and it shouldn't have happened.
I can't help you there.
I'm so mad.
I think Drew Gulak they're gonna save for a good American pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they're going to do anything with Drew Gulak
They
because they're
have to,
stupid.
man. They have
They're
to.
dumb. I want Noam Dar to come back too and do something, like actual something, because he never did, and he's great and goofy as shit. Give me him and Drew Gulak, but they're both heels. It wouldn't work. So who are you picking?
Tag team that shit.
Ooh, yeah.
They're getting fucking belts, right?
Maybe.
I don't really care. Alexander.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be... if it's Kalisto, I don't understand anymore. If it's Kalisto, I finally understand why people don't care.
Yeah.
Because that would be
yeah.
stupid.
Let's
Unless
put
they're...
something on the line here.
Okay, sure.
Loser gets put in the chop shop.
No, I don't want that.
Yes.
No.
3 chops. If you win every time we do this.
Yeah, but
'Cause I don't care.
I probably would take a chop like a bitch.
Okay.
How about I buy you lunch or something?
Because that doesn't pay off on the podcast,
You get,
bro.
I'll tell everyone what I bought you for lunch.
Just do this. It'll be fine.
All right, what do we? No, there's got to be something else, right?
No, it's the chop shop. You're getting put in the chop shop.
That's gonna hurt. Can you?
You get-
are
no,
you,
I'll
are
give
you
you a-
gonna do it?
I'll ask 3 questions.
Okay. Oh God.
There's 3 chops on the line. Every
Okay.
question you get right, No chop.
All right, fine,
Same for me.
sure.
Okay.
I'll try and not give you easy questions.
Oh, well, fine. I was going to give you one easy one hard one, and one medium
I'm
one.
fragile. All right. Listen,
Dude, I'm not going to fucking... You ever been chopped before? It's not... We get
you know what?
drunk and do it to each
just
other.
bring in Ric Flair. You know what? If I'm gonna go all out. Bring
All
him
right.
in. I think we can get him.
Well, at least now we have something on the line so we can promote the chop show.
All right, sure, fine. That's a thing.
Now I'm into predictions.
Oh God, I'm not now. I'm gonna make sure I get all of these correct.
Okay.
All right, next up we have the Raw Tag Team titles. Is the Woken Warriors versus the Bar. That's yeah, we're
Call
both
that
on the
a
same
wash.
one, I think.
Yeah.
That's the WW men, because it's not gonna be the Bar. This one's a little more interesting. SmackDown Live, Usos, Bludgeon Brothers.
Bludgeon.
Yeah, me too. All right, so how are we gonna do this if we each have the same prediction?
I got Braun, you got D-Bray.
That's good.
So we're at least
no.
we're at least one away there.
Cool. So I'm fucked. That's good news. U.S. title match: Jeff Hardy versus Jinder.
I really want to pick Jinder.
Are you going to?
Is this does this have any stipulation or anything?
No, just a title match.
It is. Mm-hmm. I'm going Jinder.
I also picked Jinder.
I think we did talk about.
I also picked Jinder.
Or you made a comment or something. Like, yeah, I agree with that.
All right, so I mean, I think this is obvious, but Rusev and Taker in a casket match. You're not.
I'll get ballsy because I don't care about getting chopped.
If anyone, I'd be the one to pick Rusev, but I did not, and I will not.
You're a fucking fake fan. I'm going Rusev
All right.
Day.
If it happens, I will gracefully accept the chops because that would be the moment of the night for me. Cena versus Triple H, and you wanted to talk about this a little more in depth.
Because they haven't at all.
No,
This is like a huge match.
It's a huge match that makes no goddamn sense.
Right.
Okay, I'm fine with it. It'll
I
be
am
a good
too.
match, but why?
Dude, I don't know, but like this is literally might be better than WrestleMania.
Oh, it will be.
Like it's crazy the card that they put together for this.
Imagine this card with women on it. It'd be the best pay-per-view or event ever.
Yeah, it might be the best because they're not on it.
Well, I don't know about that.
Kidding,
I mean,
guys.
you put on Charlotte and Asuka,
Oh,
and where
yeah.
it's the best.
Dude, that was my favorite match at Mania. I
Exactly.
agree.
So there's that. I can't believe you picked Rusev. That's insane. Who are you picking for that one?
Rusev.
No, the next one.
What
The
other one?
Cena Triple H.
Ah, it's fucking Cena.
Oh, okay. We differ on that as well. I have Triple H because why wouldn't he
Well,
win?
why wouldn't Cena win? You know,
yeah, I
like,
guess-
it's like,
I guess
who
that's true.
knows? That one's a coin flip.
All right, so now we got the IC title ladder match. That's Rollins,
This is a good one.
Miz, Balor, and Samoa Joe. What do you think?
Awesome.
You came to play?
Yeah.
I did as well.
Oh, you did pick
picked
Miz?
the
I thought you'd pick Balor for
No, I
sure,
picked the
dude.
Miz. All right. Well, because if Jinder wins, like I said, or
Right.
like we both said,
Right.
then
They'd swap
Miz
brands,
or Joe
right,
has to
right.
win to bring it over to SmackDown. So,
You know what's funny? I didn't even think of that, and those were my picks anyway.
all right, we got AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE title.
I really want to pick Shin.
Are you going to pick Shin?
Really want to pick Shin.
But are you going to? That's the real question here.
Really want to pick Shin.
Uh-huh.
I really want to pick Shin.
All right, so he's picking Shinsuke Nakamura. Huh?
Fuck it. Put me down.
Hey,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right, Shin it is. I picked AJ. All right, and
yeah.
then
I like to live a little.
and then Brock versus Roman.
Well, you picked Roman.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Did I?
I don't know.
What's your pick?
I want to pick Brock because I feel like you picked Roman,
Maybe.
but I think we already have enough.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
All right, let's think about this logically here.
Who did I pick?
What would Roman do if he lost?
I don't know. What would he do?
Roman versus Samoa Joe for the Universal title at Backlash.
Possibility?
Roman.
Yeah, I picked Brock. So
You picked Brock?
I did. I think after that stupid ass contract that he signed, he's winning again, and we're gonna have to endure it. And I'm gonna hate it, but I am a realist, and I think that's what's happening.
I'm going Roman, man.
Hey.
They want that cheap pop. They're in fucking Saudi Arabia.
In that particular case, I hope you're correct.
You know what's funny though? Is like he's over. Everyone always says he's over with the children and the women, and like those two things really aren't allowed there. So,
That's true. This might not work as they hope, but I don't think it's gonna have to because Brock's gonna win again.
I don't know, man. I
Hey.
don't know. It's a steel cage match. Now, is this like old school steel cage where he can climb over the top?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
And there's like a door or whatever.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's not Hell in a Cell.
So, yeah, theoretically, Brock could just walk out the door.
Uh-huh.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Or it'll be some dusty finish like Brock.
Dusty because they're in the desert? I like what you did there.
I didn't do that on purpose, but I'll take the thing.
Bastard.
Maybe Brock will suplex Roman out of the cage or something ridiculous.
That could happen.
It'll be something like that. Something to make. Actually, that would make Roman look so weak. Actually.
No, that would be a good way to win. How else is he gonna win?
I feel like that would
5 F5s.
I feel like that would generate some heat on Roman too, just because that's a shit way to win a title.
Yeah.
So it could be interesting.
They don't throw him too far. He might land on like a bombing person. Or
Oh my god! Oh, and I said the fucked up thing. Yeah, that's messed up.
I'm not saying them. It could be Iran. They don't get along. Someone could be sitting. There's a lot of people there. You gotta be careful over those places.
That's horrible. Something's gonna happen, and you're gonna be like, "Oh no, I said that. I made that happen."
No, that's realistic. You just said you're a realist. I'm a realist. There's a lot of people in one place, and those places are all fucked up over there.
Fair enough. Let's wrap it up. That's it. That's all.
Everybody stay safe over there. That's what I got.
Yes, that is the main goal right now.
That's honest coming from Zanca.
Yeah,
that's some honesty. All right. As always, guys, this is the end of our podcast where I usually ramble and piss Jake off, but I really got to take a piss, so I'm going to make this one quick.
Yeah, but we got to say things where we are and what our stuff is and give us money.
And we have an interview we're going to pop in here somewhere. We'll do that right now.
It'll be at the end, which is now.
All right, so let's start off by saying I am Zanca. I'm here with my co-host Jake.
Hello, I am Jake.
Interviewing the man known as Magnum CK.
Hey guys, it's great to be here. I appreciate it very much.
I got to start by saying your Instagram makes me fucking laugh, dude. It's good
well,
stuff.
that's half the battle, man. Right? Like so. It used to be. I used to use Instagram when I first got back into wrestling. I would post like personal stuff. I mean, not like personal as in like, oh, like my thoughts and feelings, but just like, oh, here's a picture of my dog or whatever. And then I was like, like I'm kind of like a wrestling guy now again. So, so I really just post, so many photographers are out there and stuff. I'll just post, photos from my matches and stuff and try to be as witty as I can. But, I'm pretty animated out there. So they get some pretty ridiculous shots sometimes.
Dude, that one side-by-side you posted was hilarious. I think it was Andy Kaufman in your hair.
Oh, well, there's that one, yeah, and then there was I had a ladder match type of thing on Saturday, and my hair just got crazy, and it was Bill Murray from Kingpin.
That's what it was. That's what I'm thinking. Right.
But I've done Andy Kaufman too, so my thing is, I take wrestling very seriously. I take entertaining seriously, but I do not take myself very seriously.
Right.
Yeah, if anything, we know about not taking ourselves seriously.
I think if you have a podcast of any kind of success, you have to not take yourself very seriously.
Yeah, 'cause where's the fun in that?
Right.
I gotta ask, man, how is it going through life with a Papa Shango curse over you?
It's been weird. I haven't gotten the taste of like I don't know, like squid ink or whatever that stuff is out of my mouth. But I'm better at math. It's weird. I just started. I can just do equations now. You should see I got a chalkboard in my house that looks like a beautiful mind or something.
You just start speaking Spanish out of nowhere too.
Yeah,
Just pick up a second language.
Yeah, I never took Spanish in my life. Just start. And the thing is, once I start, I can't stop. It's a weird thing. But legitimately though, like whatever aside, like he's the coolest dude in the history of the world.
I imagine.
Like it's odd because it's surprising sometimes how many of those guys are actually really cool, because you hear kind of stories about certain folks who are like legends and Hall of Famers and stuff, and you're like, I wonder what this one's gonna be. He is like the sweetest, like most happy to be there person ever. It's great. I mean, it really makes a big difference too.
Yeah, he seems very down. I ran into him once. He was just down to earth guy. You wouldn't even know who he was if you didn't approach him.
Yeah, well, just like a little tiny peek behind the curtain, I guess, because whatever.
The curtain's wide open nowadays,
yes,
dude.
it is.
like there's no toothpaste in the tube anymore, I don't think.
Right.
But I went to find him because he was the Godfather at the beginning of the show, and of course we had our segment coming up. We're like fourth segment, I think, and he was in the bathroom putting on all his makeup, which he actually is like pretty meticulous about. Like he did the original makeup. Like you see so many guys, like not to rag on anybody, but like you'll see Demolition on a show and they do like the house show makeup.
Yeah.
They don't have the base. It's just like they just did one eye, and they're like, yeah, you get the idea. Like when Ultimate Warrior would just like paint his logo on his cheek, and he's like, yeah, you got it, right?
Hat and put a hat on, you're all set.
I got a Warrior T-shirt on. Like, come on, you know who I am. Yeah. But anyway, so he's in there for a long time, putting on his makeup, and like I hadn't really had a chance to talk to him yet, like at all, even introduce myself. And I heard he was a cool guy, but I was like, okay. You know, and I'm one of the older guys in the group, you know, and so I was like, well, they all kind of looked at me, and I was like, well, I'll go in the bathroom and talk to Papa Shango. Just like,
is that something you ever thought you'd say in your life?
And that's like the next thing I said. I was like, who would have ever thought that you'd ever say that serious? So I go in, I'm just kind of talking to him, and introduce myself, you know, in the mirror, and he's putting on his makeup. And I was like, well, you know, we had a couple of ideas, but we just wanted to see, you know, what you normally do. And he's like, I'll come out and I'll start shaking like this, and he starts acting all out, and he's like, I'll put my hands in the air, and I'll say, woo, Baba! And then, you know, you guys just get voodooed or whatever, you know. He's like, just do your thing. And I'm like, okay. So luckily, like, we were like way into it. So we had all this black voodoo juice and all that and everything. So, but he was just a way cool guy, like not a big deal, you know, just way into it. And that's the coolest thing, you know.
Dude, I've had quite a few. This is going to sound weird to say too, but like a lot of my times I've met guys has been in the men's room at indie shows.
I believe that.
Like, there's nothing like, I mean, we show up early or whatever just so we could try to get some interviews or just shoot the shit with some of the guys, because I'm friends with a lot of the guys who work those shows. And it'd just be like, I'd be walking in, and then, you know, Mick Foley would just come out from taking a shit, and it's like, hey, you're Mick Foley.
It's so funny because just like a month ago, I was on a show in Toronto that he was on, and I had never really, I'd met Mick Foley a time or two, but I'd never like, you know, a lot of times you go to some of these shows and they'll have someone like Mick Foley on there or Rick Steamboat, who's also like the coolest guy, and they'll give them like a separate area, you know. Right. But like Foley doesn't seem to really want that. He literally just sat down a chair like right beside where I was, and like, you know, some other guys he didn't know, and just started like, you know, he like changed his clothes or whatever, just hanging out, started signing all the stuff they needed him to sign. And he's just the sweetest, coolest, like most normal dude. Like he's just completely approachable. It didn't feel like it's weird to look over and be like, okay, there's Mick Foley, like that's okay.
Right,
like,
right.
That's weird. But then after like 5 minutes, he's just like a nice dude. Like that's it.
Yeah, you start talking to him and he'll talk to you like he's known you for years. It's crazy.
Yeah, and he gets it too, because it's funny because I don't really geek out too much over stuff, but like I kind of for some reason as I walked up to Foley, I felt like this weird, like it was almost like, I guess maybe he'd like this, but it was like walking up to Santa or something where you're just like,
love that.
Yeah, but it's like I wasn't nervous or anything, but as I walked up, I was like, oh, okay. Then I kind of stumbled over my words for a second. I was like, let me start again. Hi, Mick Foley. Like, and he kind of like laughed at it, like, yes, I know it's weird. I'm here. You know?
So I've been told that you don't mind being called a sports entertainer as a cue to as opposed to a pro wrestler. Do you want to touch on that a little bit? What you see the difference is?
Well, I think years ago I would have argued that there's a big difference, but I mean at this point, so I wrestled originally from about 2004, 3-4 to about 08, 09, somewhere around there, and things were a lot different back then. And I went off and I did a ton of theater and independent films and lots of performing and improv in between, and came back about 2.5 years ago. But I just have a different mindset, I guess. I prefer professional wrestling. I mean, I guess if I were hard pressed, but I think the terms have just become so synonymous nowadays. I think the argument used to be like, oh, well, you know, like in locker rooms, you know, 10, 12 years ago, it was like, no, I'm a wrestler. You know, I don't plan out all these high spots and all that. And it's like, well, I mean, I get that, and that's a skill, and it's a skill luckily I was kind of brought up with. I mean, I could go out and just call a match. I mean, you know, to varying degrees of success, I'm sure. But there's no shame in the whole sports entertainment aspect, because like what I can't stand is guys who are bad guys on a show, right, and then run out and are rude to all the fans as if it's an excuse, you know, because it's like, well, I'm a bad guy. And it's like, right, but you know, I've done 35 musicals and plays, and I've definitely played a villain. I didn't go out intermission and start like, you know, popping holes in people's tires or like knocking over drinks. Like, we get it, you know. Now to throw that out there are guys who use this to great effect. Like one who comes to mind is MJF. He's a heel pretty much everywhere, And at intermission, he gets some of the greatest interactions with fans because he's kind of playing around, you know, like he'll be a jerk to them, but it's like it's in the right spirit, you know. Like
I know what you're talking about. I've seen it at a few shows, different guys. It's all in how you do it. I feel like you can be a heel in the intermission, but there's got to be a give and take. Like you can't go over the like you were saying, you can't slash someone's tires or punch a baby, but like you can like rip a sign in half and then kind of just give them a hug or something, or like a high five or something, you know.
Yeah, it's a wink wink nudge nudge type of thing.
Exactly.
Like I've gotten into it with fans during matches, you know, depending on the show, you know, if it's not like a TV taping type of situation, you know, something like that, where you're a little more free, and I've kind of like jaw jacked with fans and actually even done bits with fans, you know, just where they get one over on me type of thing, or even had some legitimate, like what I would think, like, man, this guy might find me after the show. like I had some like 1986 Roddy Piper heat going on, like, wow, like this guy's gonna come find me. And then I've had them come up to me after the show and be like, man, I loved your thing, like I loved your act, that was great, like I had fun, you know. So I think fans just kind of get it, you know, like like they'll play along with it, and they might even feel the emotion. I've seen people get like legitimately angry and then kind of come up after the show and be like, man, thank you for that, that was fun. So it's just as much an outlet for them as us. And like it or not, fans are as big of a part of the show nowadays than they've ever been before.
Well, like you said too, you can't get the toothpaste back in the tube. So I mean, people know it's like they can play along or not, you know.
You can try, but it's going to be a mess.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be covered in germs and everything, and hair from the sink and everything.
Definitely pubes. Don't want that.
But you know, my whole thing about it is a performance, right?
Right.
And
exactly. That's why I don't understand why some people take offense to the term sports entertainer. I can understand, but there is an art to being a professional wrestler, which is kind of sports entertaining. Is basically it encapsulates all of that.
Right, it's sports entertainment. We're playing the role of professional wrestlers who that role is, this is a sport that is presented in the confines of this drama as a legitimate sport, and we're characters within it. But when I go home at night, I don't wear my cape to bed or anything. Like, I'm just a guy, you know. It's like a movie. But now with that being said, there are some things that I think should be done out of respect for that art, which is I'm not going to go right out in intermission and shake hands and hug my opponent who I just waffled with a steel chair. You know, I think that's disrespectful to the fans, and it kind of craps all over their suspension of disbelief. You know, I don't think that that's helpful. And in the same vein, like on Friday when we did the Papa Shango voodoo thing, I got the intermission was right after, so I waited a few minutes and I came out with all the black stuff on, and I just acted weird. You know, like I sold shirts and signed autographs and took pictures, but I was like saying stuff backwards and stuff, you know, like just kind of playing it up, because it's like, well, I'm not just going to stroll on up and start handshaking everybody. And I just crawled to the back with voodoo ink all over me or whatever, you know.
You can't no-sell that, yeah.
Well, right, but that to me was fun. It's like I didn't come out and throw up on anybody or anything, but like I just kind of continued it on, and people got some pictures and were really laughing and stuff. So it's that fine line, and it's one of those things that it's hard to define, but you know when someone's doing it wrong.
So pretty much everybody we've interviewed has a story with Bully Ray, and I found out that you also have a story about a table spot.
Yeah, you know, it's actually kind of a cool thing. So at Remix Pro Wrestling, they booked it happened kind of on accident. It was supposed to be I believe it got changed around so many times I lost track. But originally it was supposed to be it was in a tag team I was in at the time, and we were supposed to go against Colt Cabana and Swoggle. And then I think like Matt Cross was supposed to wrestle Bully Ray in the main, which was like one of those like, wow, what a weird combination, what's going to happen here type matches, right? Well, then Matt Cross like legitimately gets chickenpox as like a 40-year-old adult. Like, it's the craziest
that
thing.
happens still?
Yeah, like dude just got chickenpox. Like, it was because he missed. I think he might have missed AIW the night before too. I can't remember. So he has to cancel. And then so they booked Grado, because Grado was in the country at the time. And then Bully, you know, he kind of felt weird about doing the deal with Grado or whatever. Nothing against it, but he's just like babyface. Like, he's like, I really like to work bad guy, you know, against bad guys. So then they thought, well, let's do, you know, my tag team against Swoggle and Colt against Grado and Bubba Dudley. And I was just like, what? Like, this is wild. Like, I don't know. And then so it just ended up being this fun thing, and you know, everybody got along really well, and Swoggle, I mean, geez, I know him pretty well, and Colt and everything. And but that was my first time doing anything with Grado and Bubba, of course. But 6 months before, I just worked his partner Devon oddly enough. But anyway, so Bubba just had an idea of what he wanted to do when we got there, and it actually was ended up great. But it was really funny. He was laying out we were laying out the match all together, and he looks me up and down, and I just started to really get into good shape around that time and had some new gear and stuff. And he looked me up and down, and he's like, you know what? You look like a good kid. You look like $1 million, and I'm sure you're going to have a great future in this business, just not tonight. Because basically, the match was what it should have been, which was like a sell party for all the
right, yeah.
Which was my pleasure to do, yeah. And then I got chosen to do the table deal at the end. I got it ended up being more like a choke slam, but it was like a spine buster type of thing from Bubba. And it's funny because he it takes a lot of momentum to break a table, and I'll say I was fine after, but he definitely made sure I had enough momentum.
He generates enough force.
Yes, he made sure that table broke. And this is fine. I've told a lot of people this story too. So he puts me through the table, and then he grabs my leg, because my legs are up in the air, because I jumped as high as I could, and he lifted me, and all that, tried to make it look as good as I could for him. And then I'm laying there, and he grabs my leg before he rolls me toward the ropes and goes, "Get out of here! You're done." Just like,
that's pretty good.
But not to the crowd. Like he said it just to me. I was like, "Sir, I got it." But I actually have a chunk of that. Someone came up to me at intermission that night and gave me a chunk of that table, and it wasn't long after he announced his retirement. So that was the last, if not one of the last, Bubba Ray table spots. So that's kind of a cool little artifact that I have in my house.
Definitely put that in a frame.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, honestly, anytime you can work with folks like that, you always get some good stories, and it's a great experience. And that was just a fun match. And a quick little note is, Bubba Ray, of course, gets the hot tag. And I know we're throwing around all the terms, but everyone knows them already.
Right. Yeah.
He gets the hot tag, and he comes in and he says every time he hit both of us, because we bump and feed, like three different bump and feeds or whatever. He's like, "I'm a house of fire! I'm a house of fire!" So, I mean, it was just fun, all those guys together was just a once in a lifetime blast.
When you're backstage at these things and you're working with guys like of that ilk, do you just find yourself just really focusing on how they're trying to put the match together, or is it a lot of times you just go out and call it in the ring? I'm sure, but when there's times like you're calling out spots and whatnot, do you see like certain keys where you're like, oh, that's probably why that guy made it all the way up there? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, do you find little gems?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think if you're smart and you're interested in getting better at this and you respect the process, that's exactly what you do.
Right.
Because, like I said, Bubba had a great idea of what he wanted out of the night, but he also left it open for everyone to have their own creative input as well. I mean, and anytime you do that, there's always 40 things that get left on the cutting room floor or whatever.
Right.
Everyone has a bunch of ideas. But I think that's important too, because I've also seen those guys come in who are just like, well, this is my indie match, brother, and this is what you're going to get. And it's kind of like, well, okay, like that's kind of lame. But yeah. Bubba came in and he was like, here's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. This is what I think the finish should be. And here's where you can get your shine in, Colt. And here's where you can, Grado, get your thing in. And it's just like he thought about all that. And that is a cool thing, because
right.
That's what a real legend does. He doesn't come in and boss everybody around. He's like, here's what I think, and here's where you can put your stuff in. What do you guys think?
That shows on shows, though. Like someone that just doesn't come in and just cashes in on the payday. That's someone that cares about the work they're doing.
Yeah, well, exactly, and I think that all the time, because this time around I've gotten to work with a lot of guys who are significantly younger than I am, and I'm not a veteran by any sense, but I've had in my 15 or 16 years of being a performer, about 7 of those years have been in wrestling. So I do have some experience. I did grow up around it. So one thing I took note of that when Bubba came in with that kind of skeleton and everything. And I do that now a lot, especially when I'm kind of expected to be one of the more experienced guys in the match. I'll think like, okay, well, here's my idea of like, here's the arc. And here are all these spots where we can work in all of your ideas and we can kind of weave them together instead of being – because I've seen guys who are like 3 years in wrestling and work with someone who's 6 months in and try to like strong arm them and be a jerk and be like, here's what we're going to do, kid. It's like, oh, God, that doesn't help anybody. And also, what's the creative fun in that? They're here to be a creator just like you are. So why can't they be part of it as well?
So you said you grew up around wrestling. You want to touch on that a little bit? Because you're somewhat of a second-generation guy yourself, right?
Yeah, my uncle was a wrestler and is still currently he promotes some. He's having some health issues. But I grew up around it. My first live main event was Wahoo McDaniel against Ivan Koloff in a Russian chain match.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I was like 5 and petrified. Because that's back when it was in 1991. And it was and they had separate locker rooms even then. They had a good guy locker room and a bad guy locker room. And I remember, of course, all the wrestlers were messing with me because my uncle took me to the good guy locker room and everyone was all nice and friendly. And then he's like, "All right, let's go see Lord Zoltan at the other locker room." And I was like, "Oh God, no!" So they're all messing with me, chasing me around. So yeah, I grew up kind of hanging out at wrestling shows, and getting to know like Ricky Morton and Chris Hamrick and all these guys and. So, I mean, I don't know how much that translates to wrestling ability, but it certainly helped me get a good mind for wrestling, I think, and it's a good start. And I sat and watched videos with my uncle for hundreds and hundreds of hours. And, he was just dissecting everything as we watched it or explaining. Like, I remember watching Brett and Austin with him live, the submission match, and like he was just explaining why everything they were doing was complete genius and how it was a masterpiece, like explaining to me why this is good. And it was like, wow, like it started to all click. And it's funny because that's one of the things I actually told Foley when I met him, because I told him, I was like, listen, I grew up around wrestling. And so I kind of always knew the deal, right? Like I knew what was up with the wrestling. I was like, but Mick, you were the dude that I was like, all right, all the other stuff might be planned out, but this guy's real. Like, when I was a kid, I was convinced that Cactus Jack was legit, man.
Dude, Papa Shango was legit for me as a kid. So
I told Shango that too. I was like, I know this is weird because I'm like a grown man and everything, but when you came on the TV, I literally was so scared I had to change the channel. Like, and like keep changing back. I'm like, he's still talking. Like, oh God.
Yeah, when he got Warrior that one time, you know what I'm talking about? I couldn't sleep.
One of the first things I did, and this is kind of the whole like living your dream type thing. One of the first things I did on Friday when I rolled out with the Voodoo Ooze was I turned to the crowd and went, Warrior!
All right, I got one more question that a buddy of mine really wanted answered, Mr. Aaron Varble. Mega Plowers. Who came up with that awesome pun name?
What?
Well, I was coming back to wrestling in the beginning of it was a little over about 2.5 years ago, and I was on a different podcast at the time. And I made a joke. I was like, hey, when I come back to wrestling, there's this wrestler named Jock Sampson who plays this like redneck character. And I'd known him kind of well at the time, much better now, obviously. But I made this offhanded joke of like, hey, what if I made a tag team with Jock Sampson and we were called the Mega Plowers and we just rode tractors to the ring?
That's a great name.
I know. But it's like one of those things like be careful what you joke about, So then like it kind of got this steam and it was like, hey, what if we did do a little tag team thing for a while? But instead of being farmers and riding tractors, we just did, I was like, instead of that, why don't we just get some satin jackets custom made and, like be like an 80s NWA team type thing. So we did that for a little bit. And it was a good way for me to get back into wrestling because I got to work some tag matches and stuff and got to work with some higher profile guys, like Devon Dudley and stuff like that. And get my feet wet, But it wasn't long before I was longing to be like, all right, I got to fly on my own here, But yeah, the Mega Plowers, like, it was someone's like, well, is that like a sexual thing? And I never thought about that. I was like, I guess it could just be whatever you want it to be. I guess, but it did kind of catch on for a little while there. It was a lot of fun. It was a new thing. I'd never really been in a tag team situation for any long period of time, so it was a lot of fun to get some experience on that side of wrestling, and just it freed me up. If I hadn't done the Mega Plowers, I wouldn't be what I am now, I don't think, because the natural trajectory kind of led me to doing all the stuff that I'm doing now.
That's awesome. So it worked out.
Yeah, it did. It was funny because that match I said, it was us against Devon and Marion Fontaine, who's just one of my best friends in the world, man. He's a great guy. And the match went great. I mean, the crowd couldn't have been any happier, but I got to the restaurant with my wife after the show and I was like, I don't know what it is, but I'm not feeling like I'm doing what I came back to do. And I had all these harebrained ideas I was throwing at her and she was like, wait a minute, stop. She's like, who are your favorites? And I just kind of named them off, I was like, oh, Roddy Piper and Macho Man, Flair, Funk, all these guys, Rick Rude. And then she's like, well, why do you like them? So I started naming off all these reasons why I liked them. And she's like, okay, do that.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, but like, wait, well, yeah, like, wow, it's that easy.
It is.
Okay. And then I just, I changed up everything I was doing, and I've to great success so far, man. It's been a pretty awesome 9 months or so since that happened. And I couldn't be happier. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm just checking things off my list of like, yeah, I always wanted to do this spot or that spot or work in this place or that place. It's been awesome, man. Like I'll just watch a Ted DiBiase tape and be like, oh, that looks fun. Let me try that. And then the next weekend I do it and I'm like, oh, great. Did that. That's cool.
Good for you, man. So, as a master of impressions that you are, I would like for you to plug all of your handles, all of the ways to reach you, maybe some upcoming dates, anything you're working on, some more of your productions, anything. Can you do that all in different impressions, different voices?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Ever since I hooked up at AIW Wrestling, dude, I've been waiting to be at the Johnny Lightning Invitational, dude. And that is May 25th and May 26th. Shop.aiwrestling.com, brother. And I got a bit of a rap myself, I got a few things that I want to prove. You can follow at AIW Wrestling now. Mr. Downey. Don't blow no more smoke in my face, Mr. Downey. Now, if you want to follow, and I want to say right now, if you want to follow me, damn it all, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, stink, at the Magnum CK. Woo!
So thank you for that awesome interview from Mr. Magnum.
This is gonna be a long ass episode.
It happens. I really wish I had a
Good
Magnum
thing
as my name.
good thing we upped our storage.
Yeah, we needed to because of the outpouring from the SRAP fans.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Seriously, and if you want to check out more of our stuff, you want to rep the goods, shop.spreadshirt.com/stillreal.
I'm repping the goods.
Party. You're talking over our own plugs.
Sorry, but I'm repping the goods.
Yeah, this is a verbal thing. Audio.
Okay, go.
Audio.
Yeah, no one can see it.
shop.spreadshirt.com/
Still Real After Party.
I figured I'd give that one to you because I know
Thank
you
you.
have trouble not talking.
Hey, listen, it's what I'm good at. It's the only thing I'm good at. Let me be good.
You're not that good at it.
Okay,
you
so
stumble.
go. You're right.
Patreon.com/stillrealafterparty. Follow this motherfucker on Twitter? Is that what you want, or you want your Insta?
I can do both. It's that Travers Kid on Twitter, and it's that Travers Kid _SRAP on Instagram.
And I am at Zanca Comedy on most things, and you can follow us on the Twitter at StillRealAP, and follow me. I post memes on Instagram at StillReal2Us. Peace, love, and leg drops, mofos.
Stay iconic.